Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 17 of the Diamond Stars set. In episode 16, we covered card number 71, Aussie Blues. We also covered card number 72, Tony Piet. Card number 73, Fritz Ostermuller. And we finished up with card number 75, Irving Burns. I had to skip over card number 74, which was Tony Lazzari. I didn't have the card yet, so I wasn't able to show it. And really, that's what this episode is about. In this episode, I'm going to be showing you cards that I had to skip over previously in previous episodes because I didn't have the cards yet. Now, most of these cards are Hall of Famers, and so you're going to see a lot of star power in this episode. Been really looking forward to this episode, so I hope you enjoy. Now, the first player that we're going to discuss is going to be, that first player is going to be Bill Dickey. So let me get the card out here. All right. So card number 11, Bill Dickey, and that's in an SGC 4.5. And let's learn a little bit about Bill Dickey. He was born in 1907 in Bastrop, Louisiana. Dickey was a pitcher and second baseman growing up. It wasn't until the minor leagues that he was switched to being a catcher. He made his major league debut in 1928 as a catcher for the New York Yankees. Dickey played with the Yankees for 19 seasons from 1928 to 1943. From 1944 to 45, he served in the U.S. Navy in support of World War II. So, Bill, thank you for your service. He returned for one last season in 1946 before retiring from Major League Baseball. Bill Dickey is easily regarded as being one of the top 5 catchers in Major League history. Dickey posted some of the finest offensive seasons ever by a catcher during the late 1930s. However, for much of his career, his slugging was overshadowed by Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and Joe DiMaggio. He had a lifetime batting average of .313. He also accumulated 202 home runs and 1,209 RBIs. Now, defensively, he boasted a .988 fielding percentage. He was an 11-time All-Star and an 8-time World Series champion. He also appeared as himself in 2 Hollywood movies. Those films were The Pride of the Yankees, which was about Lou Gehrig, and The Stratton Story. Bill Dickey retired as a player after the 1946 season. He returned to coach the Yankees in 1949 and to be a catching instructor to aid Yogi Berra. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1954. Yogi Berra had inherited Bill Dickey's jersey number, which was number 8. And so after Berra's retirement from Major League Baseball, the Yankees retired number 8 in honor of both catchers. Bill Dickey died in 1993 at the age of 86. And in 2013, the Bob Feller Act of Valor Award honored Dickey for his service in the United States Navy during World War II. So let's talk about the back of the card. This is a greenback from, should be a 1935 card because it gives the stats for 1934. And the fielding tip on the back is about handling bunts. And it talks about how a catcher should be prepared for and handle a bunt. Now, the front of the card is, in my opinion, just excellent. It's got some very strong, bold colors. It's not faded at all. It's very vibrant. It's got Bill in the forefront with his New York jersey on. I love that you can actually see and read New York on it. And he's got his cap on. And in the background, you've just got like a solid blue color with some yellow and orange stripes. So very interesting card. Love the artwork and artistry of it. Love the detail and the focus of it. It's definitely an in focus picture. So the registration on it's real good. So, all right, the next player is going to be card number 16, and card number 16 is that of Lloyd Waner. And let's learn a little bit about Lloyd Waner. So, aka Little Poison, he was born in 1906 in Harrah, Oklahoma. He made his major league debut in 1927 as a center fielder for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Lloyd's older brother, Paul Waner, aka Big Poison, had joined the Pirates the year before Lloyd, and together they anchored the Pirates outfield. In his rookie season, Lloyd batted a .355 with 223 hits while only striking out 23 times. He spent most of his career playing for the Pirates, but in 1941 he was traded to the Braves and then the Reds. The following year, in 1942, he was traded to the Phillies. In 1944, he was traded to the Dodgers and later was traded back to the Pirates, where he retired after the 45 season. Yes, that was 5 teams in 4 years. Lloyd was an All-Star in 1938, and he had a .316 career batting average. He also accumulated 2,459 hits, 27 home runs, and 598 RBIs. Lloyd Waner was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1967 by the Veterans Committee, and he died in 1982 at the age of 76. And on the back of the card, this is a green back. This card is from 1934. It gives the stats for 1933. The fielding tip on it is for catching the high fly, and it suggests to catch the ball with your arms and hands extended overhead rather than using the basket catch method. Now on the front of the card, it's got Lloyd Waner stretched out just like the batting tip or the fielding tip has. It's got him stretched out catching a ball. I love that stretched out pose that he's in, and I love the detail of his uniform. Although one thing I kind of wish was on there was his the jersey logo or the team logo on his jersey. But anyway, it's also got some very vibrant colors in the background with the oranges and the yellows and blues and greens. And so that's what I like about the card. All right, the next card is going to be of card number 17, and that's Frankie Frisch. And Frankie Frisch was born in 1897 in Bronx, New York. He made his major league debut in 1919 as a second baseman for the New York Giants. Frisch played in the majors for 19 years. The first half of his career was spent with the New York Giants, while the second half was spent with the St. Louis Cardinals. During his time in New York, he was chosen to be team captain and helped lead the team to 4 pennants and winning 2 back-to-back World Series championships. He was a stolen base leader in 1921 and batted over 306 times. In 1927, he and manager John McGraw had a falling out, which led to Frisch's trade to the Cardinals. Frankie Frisch would become the heart of the Gas House Gang. Over the next 10 years, Frisch and the Cardinals would win 4 pennants and 2 World Series championships. It really shows his impact when you take into account that the Cardinals had only won 1 pennant before Frisch joined the team. The Giants would win only 1 pennant once during Frisch's 9 seasons with the Cardinals. In 1931, he was voted the National League MVP after batting .311 and leading the team in stolen bases. In 1933, he became the player manager. He was also a 3-time All-Star. Now keep in mind that the All-Star game started in 1933. He probably would have been voted into the All-Stars while he was with the Giants as well. Frankie Frisch retired as a player in 1937. He compiled a .316 batting average, which is still the highest ever for a switch hitter. He accumulated 2,880 hits and hit .300 for his career from both sides of the plate. After his retirement, Frisch made a lifetime career with the major leagues. He continued to manage the Cardinals and later managed the Pirates and the Cubs. After managing, he worked several years as a color commentator on radio and TV. Later, he became a member of the Hall of Fame Veterans Committee. Frankie Frisch died in 1973 from a car accident, and he was 75 years old. Now, on the back of this card, it's a greenback, and it's a card from 1934 because it gives stats for 1933. And the batting tip, it says a left-hander's advantage, and what it says is it talks about left-handed batters having a 4-step advantage over right-handed batters from the hit, from the batter's box. And so this is in an SGC 3, and I think this is going to be my favorite card of this grouping. It's got Frankie Frisch leaning down to, field a grounder, and he's got his arm stretched out with the ball in the glove. One thing I really like about this card happens to be his socks. I don't know why, but I like those striped socks. And you can actually see a cleat on his cleats, or a spike on his cleats. And so I really like the uniform and his pose. And then you've got the yellow and green and orange colors of the field with some blue in the background. Not really sure what the blue is, but the sky is red. So again, great image. So another thing I like about it is it's got that horizontal image of the card. And I really like the horizontal images of the cards, or horizontal cards. All right, the last card is that of Chick Hafey. And this is card number 18. And let's learn a little bit about Chick Hafey. He was born in 1903 in Berkeley, California. The St. Louis Cardinals signed Hafey out of high school as a pitcher. However, Branch Rickey noticed Hafey's hitting abilities and decided that he should become an outfielder. Chick Hafey made his major league debut with the Cardinals in 1924. Hafey played on the Cardinals team from 1924 to 1931. In 1926, he suffered multiple beanings, which caused him to have sinus issues and eyesight deterioration. Hafey started wearing glasses and was the second major league player to wear them ever. He is the most prominent player to wear glasses and one of only 2 Hall of Fame players to wear glasses, the other player being Reggie Jackson. With the Cardinals, Hafey helped the team win 4 pennants and win the World Series twice. Hafey was a member of the famous Gas House Gang of the 1930s. In 1931, Hafey won the closest race for batting title in history, hitting .349 to barely beat New York's Bill Terry and his teammate Jim Bottomley. After salary disputes with management, Branch Rickey traded Hafey to last place Cincinnati Reds in 1932. In 1933, he was chosen by the Reds for the inaugural All-Star game in 1933, recording the first ever All-Star hit. So Chick Hafey got the very first hit in the very first All-Star game. Throughout his career, Chick Hafey suffered from severe sinus problems. In 1935, he developed influenza and took the next season off. He made a comeback in 1937 and soon after abandoned the comeback due to salary disputes. This would mark the end of his professional baseball career. Hafey finished his career with a .317 batting average. He played in 4 World Series and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1971 by the Veterans Committee. Chick Hafey died in 1973 at the age of 70. Now on the back of this card, it's a green back, and it's a card from 1935, as it gives the stats for 1934. The fielding tip talks about judging long flies. The tip is for an outfielder to take glances as the fly ball or at the fly ball while running. By taking short, quick glances, you'll be able to track the ball in flight and watch out for the fence and other obstacles, all the while being able to run faster. And on the front of the card, it's just a portrait pose of Chick Hafey, but one thing it highlights is those round spectacles that he's wearing from the 1930s, which really dates this card. And him being the second player ever to wear glasses is very interesting. Actually, the first player was another player on the Cardinals, so that's kind of neat too. Also in the same time frame. But this pose shows him in his Reds uniform, which he would have been on the Reds at this time. And in the background, it looks like you've got some green to represent some shrubbery and a blue sky. And I'm not really sure what the yellow and blue are supposed to represent in the picture. But anyway, that's card number 18, Chick Hafey. All right, everybody. Well, that's the Diamond Stars episode for this week. And hope you all enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for some upcoming videos. I've got an SGC reveal coming up soon. And I'll also do a VR for a good channel. during my Lanyap episode, so stay tuned for that. And until then, keep hunting the good stuff.